Welcome, everyone, to Throw Baseball Central. This is Joe McDonald with you, and I'm joined by Rich Mancuso, New York Sports Stage Managing Editor, and we are discussing the New York Mets today and what a mess that happened over the weekend. How are you, Rich?
Good, Joe. Yeah, it seems like the Mets are it's becoming a thing once a week. Coaching change, and now this with Mickey and Jason Vargas, the whole Mets. That's it. That's the course of the season.
And it seems like it happens every single year. It's not like the Mets go quietly. They fall off the cliff spectacularly.
Yeah. You know what's sad about this whole thing? And I'm sure we're going to go into specifics in our views on what happened yesterday in Philadelphia. We're coming into a week of a celebration of the '69 championship team, which should be celebration time. And also, we're losing focus of what Pete Alonso has been doing and Jeff McNeil and some of the other good points of this team. Everything seems to be negative about this team, and things like this, happen. It throws all that off, and it's sad.
Yeah, it definitely is sad because, again, you said you have Pete Alonso, you have Jeff McNeil. Both of them may make the All-Star team this year. And it's going to, it's brushed under the rug. I mean, Pete Alonso was named NL Player of the Week. There's no mention of that.
Yeah,
brushed under the rug.
It's all about what happened yesterday, which was a complete misunderstanding during the course of a long season. So many things happened. It's not as bad as what happened years ago with Bobby Bonilla and Bob Klappich in the Mets clubhouse, which I witnessed firsthand as a younger reporter. And it's not as bad, maybe Billy Martin thing that went on with Reggie Jackson may have been worse. But, because this was the manager and a reporter getting involved and then a player, Jason Vargas, who had no business doing what he did, it blew out of proportion, and here we're at. It's sad. It's a sad commentary on what the good strengths of the Mets are as a team and an organization. That's what's sad about this whole thing. And Mickey Callaway also said about, this is a manager that I've come to like. And you want to be objective about this show. We know how he deals with the media. He's very courteous. He'll answer all questions on the tough circumstances. Maybe even better than what Terry Collins did over the last few years as a manager. And Mickey Callaway has this demeanor. And I'm sure this was all frustration, as it's been pointed out, as he said just moments ago in a press conference. It's a part of the game. And sometimes we as reporters will go overboard and just persist till we get the right answer. Now, I, for one, am old school. I'm not going to do it that way, as you know. But this is what happened in that clubhouse, in a tiny clubhouse in Chicago, Wrigley Field yesterday. It blew out of proportion. It got ugly. It got messy. And now, hopefully, both Callaway and Vargas were fine. Both Callaway and Tim Healy, the reporter from Newsday, that made peace. Brody Van Wagen, the GM, Brody made his statement, and maybe now we can get back to normal, hopefully.
Yeah, and you know what? If we even in Philadelphia, the Phillies have been slumping left and right. They're coming back down to earth. I mean, the Mets could easily take 2 or 3 down there. And then, then when they come back home, they have the Braves, which is going to be a tough series.
Yeah,
but it's still going to be, you still got the 69 Mets around and everything else. So you never know what's going to happen over the next week and a half. It could be the
No, they forgot there's still a long season to go. Yes, it doesn't look good right now because his bullpen is the worst in baseball. It's a total mess, and this is Brody's responsibility. I mean, he built this pen together, and obviously his off-season moves right now, and probably the whole year will look like this, are a bomb. They didn't work out, and that's the risk you take as a general manager and baseball overall as a long season. These things happen. But, when it comes down to this was uncalled for. This is the new age in the media, new era. News like this will get blown up and blown up. And tell you the truth, on an off day yesterday for myself, this broke about, 5 o'clock? And it blew the rest of my day. And that's what it's because it's all over social media, and it has to be reported. We have Rich Cortino down there in Philadelphia right now covering this whole thing. I mean, it just got out of proportion. And when you look at it again, when do the Mets not have a controversy at some point? Right? I mean, there's always something going on with this team, and that's the stigma with this organization. The cure to all this, as we saw as recently as a few years ago, winning brings smiles. Everybody's at peace. Even then, 2015 World Series game, Terry Collins, Matt Harvey, the controversy, take him out, keep him in. Even then there was some controversy. So it's a part of the game, as Mickey Callaway said. But I'm asking everyone to observe this, and you know it as well as I do because you're in that clubhouse. You're in those press conferences. We have contact with Mickey Callaway. And I got to hand it to you. I'm trying to be objective as I can here. Mickey Callaway is as gracious and nice as can be. All right? He's under a lot of pressure. Take it from his standpoint. This guy, they're talking about firing and firing and firing. It's constant talk. He has mismanaged the bullpen. There's no doubt about it. I'm not gonna say he hasn't done that. He has done that. He's mismanaged the bullpen. Diaz could come in for a 4 or 5 out set. Now you got to respect if that's an organizational decision not to do that. Then respect it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Basically, Joe, as you know, it creates headlines. And we in New York Sports Day, we try and be as fair and objective as possible when we write. And we try and give everybody their due play. But enough is enough.
Exactly. And, you know, I remember last year, Mickey Callaway shook everybody's hands at the end of the year. Said,
exactly.
Where do
you see that? You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Joe. Where do you see that? In all my years, almost 40 years in this business, right, and covering baseball constantly as I've been the last 20, 25 years, I have never seen that happen. And I'm talking about opposing managers in clubhouses, and here in New York, okay, where there's another team, the Yankees. Where have you seen a manager greet every reporter his final day, his final press conference of the season, stood up and made sure he shook the hand of every reporter during our last game in September at Citi Field last season? I've never seen that before. And you know what? He wasn't told to do that. He did that. So give the guy a break.
Right. And, you know, you said, you were probably been here up before. I was there when the Adam Rubin press conference happened. I was there when Francisco Rodriguez threatened Kirstie Acker.
Yes.
Those were a lot worse than this. This was just frustration, blowing off hands. And you know what? You got to give Vargas maybe a little credit for standing up for his guy. It shows everyone.
He do, but in this age, in this era, that you can't do that. All right?
Right. You can't do that.
He stuck up for his manager.
He hasn't lost the clubhouse.
Yes. Right. That clubhouse is together. They are not broken, and the manager has that team intact. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? I've seen worse over the years. Okay? I've been in that Mets clubhouse. I've been in the Yankee clubhouse. I've been in visiting teams' clubhouses, as you and everyone knows. And I have seen worse. You have to draw a line, as we do. Okay? And today, it's just a different era of journalism, as I keep telling everyone. It's different. We ask one question, you ask two questions. You see how I do it. I'll stand in the back of the patch, listen in, and then if I need to get what I got to get, I'll go to a player one-on-one myself. All right? And I do it the right way. I don't antagonize. This is not to knock Tim Healy. And I'm not doing that. I won't knock a fellow colleague, and I will not.
I don't know what the questions that were asked. I didn't hear the press conference.
Well, the press conferences were persistent about, and it wasn't Tim Healy that persisted on the question about why Diaz wasn't used and why Lugo came in to save this game and not Diaz with 4 or 5 outs to go. But Callaway gave his firm answer more than once, so he got a little frustrated. But it wasn't Healy that where this started. Matt Ehart from Yahoo is the one that persisted with the question. But Healy and Callaway, they might be something there with the two of them that we don't know about. Now, I've never observed that. And all the games I haven't ever observed that. But there might have been something more to it. But to say that Mickey Callaway was out of line, yeah, a little bit. The guy that should have not did what he did, and he got fined for it, all good and well there, was Jason Vargas. He should have just stayed away from all of that and let his manager handle the situation. But again, Mickey Callaway was very defensive, and very, very apologetic. Said, look, we have a job to do, and yes, we do. And he does understand that. He knows that, and every manager knows we have a job to do. And you think those managers and players every day want to be scrutinized like they are? I mean, fans have to put themselves in that position. And they have to see what these players go through. They're not in the clubhouse. We are. Now, I'm not going to ever go against a fellow journalist, reporter on the beat, or anyone who's not on the beat that comes in once in a while. We have a job to do. And I do not want to see, as I've been tweeting in social media, saying, I will never want to see a fellow journalist, beat writer or not, being threatened in that clubhouse. That's uncalled for. That should not happen in baseball or any sport. And I have been under the gun more than once. I mean, you got to see what I've been through in the boxing business. How many times
I've been in hockey.
So it's just a part of the game, and it's the heat of the moment. And I'm just hoping that this now boils over, everybody's at peace, the Mets could go on to concentrating on winning ball games, focus on this great season Alonso's having, and McNeil and some of the others, and get ready to celebrate 3 days this weekend for the 60-19. They deserve that.
Exactly. To turn the page. And guess what? The Mets win tonight, and this is all going to be forgotten.
And it's not as bad as a road trip as we thought. They could have won yesterday. They would have been up on this road trip. 11 crucial games, and they handled it well. I'm the one that gave it gloom and doom like many others. And this team would define him. If the column last week I wrote on Sports Day Hour site, I'm the one that pointed out why they had a win, and it's so true what a defining road trip this would be towards their season. But you know what? Look at it. They've handled it well after that Atlanta series. They did well at Wrigley, except for yesterday when they could have had that win. And if the Phillies are floundering, they're falling apart. So pitch well. The bullpen can handle themselves. The offense is not a problem. Win these games in Philly, they come home and everything is peace and quiet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what everyone hopes. That's definitely.
And they're not far from a wild card. And we're not even at the All-Star break. So that wild card changes is always the dimension, the complexion of everything. So they could still vie for a wild card if they're out of the divisional race. They're not far from the wild card. I think they're only 3 games out of a wild card. So everybody should stop the doom and gloom, even though we know things could be better for the Mets.
Right. If this bullpen was better, we wouldn't even have.
And that's the bad part of it. And the burden of that is Brody. And I know Brody is going to address it. He's very aggressive. I'm not giving this guy an A. No one should. He gets an F for that. The results are there. But if that bullpen had performed right, well, they'd be right up there with the Braves right now.
Right. Yeah, definitely correct. All right, Rich. This is Joe McDonald and with Rich Mancuso for the Pro Baseball Central podcast, and we'll be signing off, and we'll be back more often with this podcast in the next few weeks. We'll probably have one on Friday with the 69 Mets. So until then, this is Joe McDonald signing off, and we'll be speaking to you soon.